Hey everybody. I know I wasn't on yesterday and I just want to kind of give you guys some life updates and I will tell you what happened yesterday because I feel like it's really interesting how different views we could take things on and how we interpret things. So if you all of you don't know, this is my husband Craig. He's the one I've been talking about a lot. But yeah, so first of all, we had the gender of the baby. We're going to have a gender reveal tomorrow. We had it for a couple weeks now, but with my husband being very sick, we never really got a chance to really do that. And we had to find out the gender because we wanted to wait till birth because the OB said, is this the last one? Do you want to tie up your tubes? Do you want to do whatever? And we felt like the best thing to do was to find out the gender before we figure out our steps there. But yeah, so it's been rough week for us. The rough
I'd
couple
say so.
weeks.
I'd say that's pretty rough.
It's yeah. But we're making it through, and I feel like these situations are kind of going to make us stronger. It's been really hard for me because when he was down and out, and we didn't know what it was, so he always had to wear a mask, and I had to keep everything clean. And with me being so busy and pregnant, I'm due in 9 weeks, it's just crazy. It's just a lot going on. The boys being the boys, it's just a lot. And it was hard having to do it by myself and not working together as a team like we normally would. And I feel like we had a lot of fighting and arguments kind of going on and instead of working together. So between that, Lincoln took a tumble. So a warning now for our gender reveal tomorrow. He's looking much better than we did before, but it's Lincoln. But so that's kind of life updates that we have about that. So if you want to join us for the gender reveal tomorrow, because we want the boys to be a part of it, and then we will finally know what I'm having. So I feel like this would be kind of your last kind of guesses of what's going to be happening for tomorrow. Anyways, so yesterday I feel like it was a huge learning curve for us. I was getting frustrated. I'm like, Craig, you need to go to the hospital. He wasn't getting better. He would get better, and then he wasn't going to get better. And I had to send him on his own because with me being 30 weeks pregnant, he's not contagious, in case you're wondering. The doctor says he's not contagious anymore. Well, not you're near him, but but yeah, and yeah, it's in case you're wondering why you're so pregnant, then why are you being with him? But that's why. So I didn't go to the hospital with him on the first time.
I guess you can say the first visit.
The first visit. You were in there twice yesterday. And I'm going to start crying because it was really scary. It was really scary. He came home. He's like, hey, you had pneumonia, which is fine. Not fine. It's not great. It's not yay, it's pneumonia. But it was I'm like, okay, if he has antibiotics. It
wasn't COVID, so that was
the relief.
So it's it's just pneumonia.
So that was a huge relief.
But luckily, I was already past the stages of contagion. So everybody else, since they didn't get sick, was pretty safe. So I was super happy. And the doctor prescribed me some antibiotics and a puffer just to kind of help. And I took the antibiotic and didn't think anything of it, and then tried the puffer, and then like normal during the sickness the past few weeks, I started coughing up just a thick mucus. So I went to the bathroom and was coughing it up into the toilet like usual, and all of a sudden I started feeling itchy, and nobody knew that I went to the bathroom, what I was doing in there. I think they could hear it, but my skin just felt like it was covered in ants. So I was like, okay, as soon as I got done throwing up everything, I went and jumped in the shower, and it wasn't helping at all. I thought maybe I was just sweating and needed to rinse off. So I ended up turning the water right to cold. So I thought maybe I just needed to cool down a little bit, and pretty soon I was having troubles breathing. So I shut off the shower and I stepped out of the shower and looked in the mirror. My eyes were as red as my shirt. My skin was as red as my shirt. My lips were a dark purple color, and I probably 3 times the size that they normally are because I have little bird lips. And it's at that point I knew there was probably something serious happening. So I got dressed just in case my mother-in-law came into the bathroom and needed to help me. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I got dressed, I had to sit down. So I sat down on the edge of the tub because I was getting dizzy. And then my throat closed up. And I tried calling for help. And normally I have a very deep, commanding, loud voice. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't get anything more than a mouse squeak. So trying to ask for help from people that don't know that I'm in the bathroom needing help or may need help. And the only person that heard me was my 3-year-old son. But Lindsay was asking from the living room as she was playing with my 2-year-old if I needed help. I'm going, help. And my 2-year-old's answering, no.
His answer was always no.
His answer was always no because she thought that he thought she was talking to him. And then all of a sudden he came into the bathroom and must have just noticed I was in a terrible, terrible spot and told her that, comes out and goes, I think Daddy needs help.
Yeah.
So
then I was scared. I literally pushed Lincoln off my lap, and Lincoln was like freaking out.
That's not where he got the face scars.
No, that's not where I got the face scars. But I had to push him. And then when he saw Craig in that condition, he started freaking out, and I had to keep like pushing him away. And I was like freaking out. I didn't know what to do. Like, do you call 911? Do you like take him to the hospital? I had no
idea what was going on because this has never happened in my conscious awareness. So I didn't know that I was having an allergic reaction at that time. I just thought maybe something was happening. I don't know. I really don't know what I was thinking at that time. I was in a poor condition. So Lindsay, basically, she's like, we're going to the hospital. And I was able to get to the van, which was great. I had enough power in me to get to the van. I couldn't really speak. I wanted to tear my skin off. That's how bad it was getting. It was an interesting idea trying to get to the hospital. I'm like, run those yellow lights. I'm trying to say that in my voice. She can't hear me. I'm trying to tear my skin off. Yeah. It was interesting.
You couldn't even get in the van because I opened the door and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I need shoes.
Yeah, I went to get my shoes and I was just about to put them on. She opens the back door and stands there staring at me. I'm like, my shoes are behind the back door. I need my shoes. I need my shoes. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. So that was funny. To me, that was funny. I get a sick sense of humor. But we got to the hospital. She dumped me out at the emergency. Well, didn't dump me out. I needed to get to the emerge as quick as possible. So she went and parked. And luckily, when I went and sat down in triage, the same nurse that took me in before just happened to see me. And she said, I look near dead. So she brought me in. There's a lineup of people. It's the only time I've ever seen a lineup of people in triage. There's like 7 people ahead of me. So she took me in right away ahead of all of them, brought me in the chair, and before she could even get my vitals, she just wheeled me into the emerge. And Lindsay was just walking in at that time too, so it was quite lucky that we were able to catch each other.
Yeah. I had to find a mask to put on. That's what took me a little bit too.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't walk as fast as I used to.
Yeah, she waddles now.
I do. And then she's like, oh, are you with him? Like, yeah, he's my wife. No, wait, I'm his wife. He's my husband. I don't know. We're married. I'm going in with you. And like, I was in a panic state because like I never dealt with this, even though I felt like when I was driving with Miss Daisy came to the hospital. But
and in the condition I was in, I was laughing at that because I love it when she does that stuff. But yeah, they immediately threw me on one of the emerged gurneys, and before I knew it, there was about 8 people in that room working on me. It was just, she came into the room with me.
I tried to leave. I didn't want to be in there, but the doctor said because I'm 30 weeks pregnant, I have to just chill in that room. I'm like, no, I really don't need to.
They needed to observe her because they could tell she was pretty stressed out at that time.
I was.
So
yeah. It's hard seeing them. It's hard to just not crying. It was really hard when he was shaking and seeing all these like huge needles, and I don't do well with needles. And I feel like I didn't care because I'm like looking the other direction and everyone's making sure that I'm okay. There's a bed. I need to lay on the bed, lay on the other bed. And I'm like, I don't care. Just look after my husband. Like, I'm going to be okay. I felt the baby kicking me a lot. So I figured, okay, I knew that we'd be okay.
And of course, classic me, they're strapping oxygen masks on me. They're throwing epi needles and Benadryl needles all in my legs and hooking me up to IVs. And I'm like, make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
Make sure she's okay. And she's like, don't worry about me.
You know, I was like, you're looking not so good. And they even got what are they called?
Defibrillators?
The thing when they go, you're clear, I'm clear, everyone's clear, those things.
Defibrillators.
Yeah, okay. Those things. And I was just like freaking out. I'm like, is he going to be okay? Is he going to be okay? And
I blacked out eventually because of the Benadryl, they said, but
yeah,
I know I was shaking uncontrollably for a while. I had no idea why. I felt cold. I didn't feel cold. I had about 10 blankets on me. They
kept putting it on. He was like, I can't feel anything. I can't feel anything.
Yeah.
And then you have like the heart monitor like go beep 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 beep, and I was like freaking out. And
turns out I was going into anaphylactic shock. I had no idea what that was at the time. Apparently, it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
All because I'm allergic to some antibiotics, but I only knew of one at the time from when I was really, really young. And what the doctor prescribed me when I had the pneumonia was just another antibiotic. But he had no clue that I would have a reaction to it. And I feel horrible for the guy because he's a great doctor.
Yeah.
He recognized me from all my kids' injuries, my youngest. He's like, I recognize, when I first went in there, he's like, I recognize you. And I'm like, yeah, you were there when my kid had his head wound and you gave him a popsicle. He goes, yeah, I gave him a popsicle. Yeah, I remember that little guy. So, yeah. Small town doctors, gotta love that.
And like, he was like apologizing to me, and I'm like, there's nothing to apologize for. Like, we didn't know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hear him in the bathroom. Like, if I was later, they did say if he came a lot later, he would have been dead. And I was just like, oh, you don't want to hear those words.
They said 10 minutes. 10 minutes would have made the difference. So luckily, my oldest son just happened to walk by, realized his mom probably wasn't talking to him, and came to the bathroom to see what was wrong, seen me, realized something was wrong, and went and got him or her. So that was, can't thank him enough.
Yeah, and then they were working on you, and all of a sudden I heard everyone laughing. Do you want to tell them that story? So I didn't know what was going on.
So when I got in the shower, the first thing I think of, in case my mother-in-law comes in here, I gotta get dressed. I don't want to show her my wiener. So I just threw my pants on, didn't throw boxers, don't throw anything on. Just threw my pants on and a shirt. And so when they were going to give me the epi shots and the Benadryl, they had to put them in my thighs. So they're trying to get my belt undone. And I'm like, in that state, you wouldn't think I'd be thinking about this. I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not wearing underwear right now. And I guess I didn't hear this, but I guess they all started laughing and that. And they're like, I'm so modest in that state even. I'm worried about her. I'm worried about people seeing my willy. But that's just how Myers work. We, in the deepest, darkest hours, will make you laugh. So they covered up my willy and jabbed me with a bunch of needles. So.
And my thing is, I'm so glad he didn't make a sound, because I'm a huge whiner when it comes to all this stuff, like you would know.
Yeah.
Because then I thought I was gonna go down, and I was scared, because there was a couple times I got to saw his soul kind of come out of the body, and I'm like, oh no, I can't be a widow at 32. I can't, or 31. I'm almost 32. I can't be a widow, and I started to freak out. And here I'm like, I gotta look the other way. I knew he had family there. Apollo was there. There were so many people that were there. And they're saying that they've been working with him to help him But when you start to see his soul leave the body just like a little bit, like I know it's normal, but it's scary. And
you're probably like, oh shit, he's gonna haunt me in my dreams now.
yeah, and I'm like, you can't go. And I'm like, it was hard because I'm like, why he can't leave now? He can't leave. And then you think it's your fault because you didn't get there soon. And it was like really scary. Like, you know, not only seeing him in those convulsions and seeing him in the state that he was, it was scary. I don't know how else to put it. Like, it's terrifying because I thought like he was gonna go. But then luckily I had spirit like around me. It's a hospital. There's lots there to do. There's lots of people there to kind of keep me calmed down. And I think I was doing pretty good. And even the doctor was like, "Do you need water or ginger ale?" I'm like, "No, I just need my husband to be okay." Just
the one doctor left me and went to talk to her, and I was just like, "Good, go look after her." That's you got other people. You got like a team of brothers there. Go look after her. That was my main concern there. So.
And then he's like, "Well, we need to make sure you're not going to labor." And I'm like, well, with my kids, I never dilated, so this baby's not coming out to March 10th. Like, that's the way it's going to come out. So don't worry about me, just worry about him. Like, that was like my biggest thing.
We were bickering even under those conditions.
Yeah, isn't going to do anything. So that was kind of like, and of course, you're not thinking what you say. It's just like you're in that traumatic moment. And then he fell asleep. And then I was like, oh my gosh, is he going to wake up? Like, you get all these thinking, right? It was really scary. So I'm like, okay, well, fine. I always have a book. And he just made fun of me for having a book in my purse.
I was like, oh, see, it's good you have something to read now because you got a purse that can hold your book.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what book it was. Tell him what book it was.
I didn't think anything of this, but it's the Matt Fraser book that We Never Die, The Secrets of the Afterlife. And I didn't think that was anything wrong. If you look at my other books.
Not suspicious at all.
You look at my other books, I have like Ghosts Among Us. I have Unfinished Businesses. And I also have like Growing Up in Heaven. So which, no matter what book I would choose, it still wouldn't be the right choice of book.
They
right?
should have called the cops.
So I'm just like, no wonder the nurses were giving me weird looks. And then one of the doctors was like, oh, so when are you due? I thought he said, what do I do? So I'm like, I told him, oh, I'm a multidimensional medium. And I'm like, there's lots of like passings here. There's a lot of people here because they're rolling people in from the ambulance. And I saw this girl like outside of her body, and she's like an older woman. She couldn't breathe, and she was like asking this doctor like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And then I found out that they said in the hallway that she had dementia, and I'm like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then of course I had to go like, "I don't see you. I don't know you," because as soon as they do that, they will be with you. But yeah, this is a really good book, just so you know.
Don't read it if your spouse is in a dire situation because it looks suspicious as hell.
But you were sleeping, so I figured I might as well do something with my time.
Yeah.
But no, it was a really scary experience. And then they took you off the oxygen, and I'm like, oh gosh, how's this gonna go?
So this will happen. It started around what, 5:30?
5:30, yeah. We got to the hospital, yeah.
So at 5:30, this all happened. We got to the hospital just
5:45.
5:45. I remember because it was 5:44 when we pulled into. She dumped me out.
At least I didn't make him walk.
Yeah, she was basically kicking me out, going, "Get out of here! You're not mine."
You're lucky you changed your information.
Yes, as soon as I woke up from the Benadryl or whatever, I felt great. Like, I honestly felt great. And so they wheeled me out, gave me a separate room. And from then on, it was, what?
Well, I told him when they're rolling him out, I'm like, hey, okay, I'm going to get a coffee now. Because when I was giving birth to Cam, they told me that we're going to the OR. It's emergency C-section, and he went to grab a coffee.
Yeah,
and
like, we're going to wheel her out in 15 minutes. I'm like, good, I can go grab a coffee in the room down the hall just to kind of prepare me for this. So this coffee took like 3 minutes to make. I walk out with it, and I see them wheeling her out of the room. So I'm like, oh crap, run to the room, drop my coffee off, and then follow her into the OR. And I couldn't even go into the OR for like ever. Seemed like forever.
So we're still cracking jokes at that time.
I didn't get to drink the damn coffee. bad do you think I feel? They gave us a different room afterwards, and my coffee was gone. And I was just like, okay, well, now I'm stuck in here with a newborn and no coffee.
So, and I said that joke. The nurse was like, "Oh, well, Tim Hortons is close right now." I'm like, no, I actually don't drink coffee. It was just an inside joke between the two of us.
So we got that room right about 7:30.
About 7:30, yeah, because night staff came on.
So 7:30, and then they had me hooked up to oxygen, and then they'd slowly deplete the amount of oxygen they were giving me just to see how I'd react to it, and everything was turning out fine. And then they ended up about 11 o'clock. They hooked me up to penicillin, just to try it because it's different than the other antibiotics that I was allergic to. And the penicillin didn't affect me whatsoever, so they had that IV'd. Like it would have been instant because they IV'd me. So nothing happened. I felt great, and by 11:30, we were out of there.
Yeah, like I had to leave. Once you were stable, I needed a moment. I had to go home, and I grabbed you some food, and I was just like,
I basically kicked you out. I'm like, go. You
and
need to go.
like, I need to call your. Like, I didn't even pack my phone. I couldn't have any contact with anybody. And then when you became more stable, I had to borrow your phone. I'm like, I need to call your mom. And he wasn't really in the best of state. He's like, no, don't call her. Don't call her. She's busy with other things. And
she's busy with my grandmother, who's also not in a good state right now.
Who's not in a good state, no. And that's what I kept thinking of. And then I had to come home because I needed, things were starting to settle in, and I just needed a good cry. And it was so scary. I could not even, I don't want to wish on anybody ever. But so I got you some food, which was good.
Yeah, I hadn't eaten that whole day. That was the worst. It was just, I'm hearing everybody else in the other rooms going, oh, I got chocolate bars here. I brought you a sandwich. And I'm like, I just want to eat something. And she comes with pineapple and kiwi sandwich. Yeah. It's delicious. It's jam. And a bunch of cheese and granola bars and that. Oh, it's so great. So great. Oh. But you needed that time. Just staring at me wasn't going to help her. So I was just like, you know what? I'm in front of the nurse's station. They left my curtains wide open the whole time. I'm topless. Not exactly like beach body, but But they could see me. Every nurse was asking every time they walked by if I was okay. And so I was looked after. So I was like, just go home. Get some rest, get some food, because she hadn't eaten either. So.
Yeah. I can't remember coming home. I was just
walked in the door and said, I'm not ready to be a widow.
Oh, yeah, I walked in the door. I said, I'm not ready to be a widow. That was really, really close to becoming a widow. And it's just oh my gosh, there's not a baby in the way. How could he do this? And I was getting frustrated. But I was just,
she's not exaggerating either. It was close.
It was close.
It was very, very close. So the doctor said 10 minutes would have made a difference. So
yeah,
maybe you should have ran those yellow lights.
I know, right? And not take the scenic route, looking at all the lights and all that.
Craig loves the country.
I know. Let's go for a country ride.
There's a good spot.
But yeah, no, it was hard. And I ended up calling my mother-in-law, and I was like, no, Craig told me not to tell you, but I need to tell you. And then she's like, it's okay. He texted me. And then so she she got the text, and she's like, I know everything. So she said, I want to know more details. So I gave her some of the details, and she calmed me down quite a lot, because obviously I'm on the phone, I'm like, he's almost died. And I'm just because you're still in that panic kind of mode. But she calmed me down a lot, because I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not going to trust me with her son. I don't even know how to explain it. But I'm like, if this ever happened to our kids, or our boys, I would be like, or a girl, I would want their spouse to message me and be like, hey, this is what happened. Which he's not really mad about, which is good.
No, not at all. I don't even remember telling her that, not to call my mom, but like I say, I was in and out of it, so no.
Yeah. And we're still telling jokes the whole time, because I don't know what to talk about.
You can't kill Myers. We're hard. We're like cockroaches.
And
that's what we do. You tell jokes. To deal with tense situations, you just tell jokes. You make people laugh. Yeah.
It was just awkward. I didn't know what to say, because every time I would say something, I would start crying or stuff like that. So we're like, I didn't want to talk any like sentimental stuff.
I knew. As soon as they brought out the big needles, I looked over at her and she was just looking away. And I'm like, good. They're like, this is going to hurt. I'm like, okay. Jab me. And I'm like, just a pinch. And that would make them laugh. Like, yeah, that's just what you do.
Yeah, and I felt like I was the person that didn't care because I'm like looking away.
Yeah.
My arms are like crossed and it's like, oh geez. I'm like, I really do care, guys. It's just I can't watch this. This is really traumatic for me. And then the doctor's like, well, that's why it's called a trauma room. I'm like, that was a good one.
That was
Makes
actually
sense.
funny. That was funny. You can tell he's a dad.
Yeah. But the good thing is that you're healthy, you're good. And,
Yeah. They let me go at like 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
So from quarter to, basically the treatment started at 6 o'clock. And 5.5 hours later, from near death, they just said, okay, you're good to go. Okay.
Self-checkout.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Like, how do you... Maybe my sister who works in the medical field is just like, she texted me this morning and she's like, did they let you go yet? And I'm like, they let me go last night. Oh. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can't keep a good dog down.
No. But I don't know. It made me feel better now.
Put it under here. This feels weird.
Okay, well.
There we go. That's
Everything
better.
feels weird.
You're weird.
But yeah, so that's where I was yesterday, and I was so excited for the Tuesday night. I was so excited to kind of get back in the swing of things.
Horrible.
No, don't feel horrible. It's not like
I don't like messing with her Tuesday nights because that's her night.
Yeah, no, and you're alive. That's all that matters to me.
And I think at one point when they were like hooking me up to everything, I'm like, just go home and do your live.
Yeah,
or do
he
it from
did.
here. I don't care. Just do your live. You can ask all the nurses, pick a number between 2 and 12. Like,
You did say that. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
just ask all the nurses there. Ask all the dead people. You don't know. So
there's a lot of passing there. There's a lot of ghosts there.
it's a hospital.
I know. It's but yeah, but he is okay.
I feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Like even the pneumonia it feels like about 75% gone now after they gave me the penicillin. So it kind of helped in a way to almost die. Because for 3 weeks I had trouble breathing. I mean, I really couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm stubborn. If she hadn't gotten mad at me to go to the hospital, I wouldn't have gone.
No. And I was like ready to call 911, but he's like, no, it's traumatic for the kids. And it's like, well, seeing him in that state is still traumatic. So what's the difference?
Yeah. So I feel bad for the doctor too, because he thought that he was the reason why.
Yeah.
But you don't know. If I didn't know I was allergic to a lot of the antibiotics. Penicillin, which is one of the first antibiotics ever, I guess you could say, is one of the last things that they would have thought, but it worked. So I feel fantastic.
Right.
I do have a slight cough, but it's no more mucus anymore. It's just, yeah. They did prescribe me more antibiotics, but I'm hesitant to take it. Let's just say that. So we'll just see how this in the next couple of days pans out. If I get any worse, I'll go to but I feel great. And I look great too. Apparently I'm not as chunky because of all this sickness.
That's what people kept
Listen,
telling
yeah.
you.
You don't look as chunky anymore. I'm like, yeah, all I'm doing is coughing. My abs look great. So
I wish I got that compliment, but no, you're getting chunkier.
you're a pretty chunky.
So yeah,
She's a pretty pregnant woman. I gotta say that.
It was thanks. It was really I don't know. It was really scary. I thought for sure I was gonna lose you. When I saw your soul come out, I was like, no, get back in there. And so what I did to calm down, I talked to random spirits there. I thought I did pretty good though. I stayed.
You won't
pretty
look at
calm.
me, but you'll talk to random spirits.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll get to know their stories, but they kept me calm. Like, I don't know. I know it sounds really weird. It's like two perspectives, I guess.
Obviously, you can see that I'm okay with it.
Here, you get used to it.
Yeah, I get used to it. Who's that in the doorway? I don't know. What do they look like? They're tall. Okay. It's probably my
They're
grandpa.
always in like the boys' room. There's
Yeah.
some people that keep pacing. People sit in the chairs and rock in our chairs.
There's one that's really tall and one that's really short. Okay, it's probably my grandpa and my great-great-grandpa.
There's always some guy with a war uniform on, like
That could be your grandpa and my grandpa.
So I don't know. That was kind of like,
Doesn't faze me one bit. There's somebody laying in her bed. Is he on my side? I remember you said that to me the one day. He's laying in her bed. Well, is it on my side? Because if it's on my side, he's got to go. I'm not laying on a dead person.
Oh yeah, it's a real treat living with me, especially when you bring up like old memories. And I'm like, oh no, I didn't mean to upset you because I didn't know. And I'm like, oh geez. So I'm like, sorry, and I feel bad. And at least the good news is we had our ultrasound, so the baby is healthy, and that's good. And that was like the best part of that day. That was the only thing going on that day.
Yeah, we started out with a 3D ultrasound with everybody, all the parents, and then the kids. So it was really nice. And then, then I happened.
Yeah. That was scary.
Yeah.
But it's better now. And I think it kind of gives you a different perspective on life, that do not take anyone for granted, like for anybody. And remember, like when we get frustrated, we have to like work together as a team and not working like against each other. It's been difficult because he has been sick. It's not like
I don't normally get sick.
I'm just burnt out.
Yeah. Like if I get sick, it's 1 day, 2 days, not 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And even I was getting to the point I was worried, like, how long is this going to take? Because it was killing me. Like, not like.
Oh, I was going to say, well, it kind of did.
Poor choice of words.
That's why we get along great.
But I should have went to the hospital sooner. But no. That day just seemed to be the day. And honestly, though, like, if that triage nurse didn't see me and recognize me, she said I looked nearly dead. So it was just I got lucky. Mm-hmm. If Cam hadn't walked by and seen me, who knows what would have happened? Because they didn't know I was taking a shower, they didn't know I was they just thought I went in there to like spit up stuff like normal. So if Cam hadn't seen me, it would have been worse. If the triage nurse didn't recognize me and see me and just rush me through, it would have been worse. If like it's just there's a whole symphony of things that
me stopping at every red light.
So I'm looking in the camera and that white bunny's giving me bunny ears right now.
I didn't even notice that.
At some point in time, it looks like little devil horns.
So
that's a 2-year-old.
It was one of those things that you got to count your blessings, just because in 10 minutes, in the time it takes, to make a coffee some days or something like that. Not my analogy there.
That's, yeah.
In the time it takes, that could have made a life-changing difference. I mean, like a serious life-changing difference. Like I said, if Cam hadn't walked by and seen me, he couldn't even, he might not even said anything, just seen me and thought I was sitting on the bathroom or tub.
All I heard is, Mommy, Dad needs help.
Yeah.
And he said it so calmly like that. And I'm like, okay. Then you look at him like, oh my gosh, you're half dead.
Yeah. And it's the triage nurse. I just happened to look up and see her, and she seen me, did a double take, and she goes, "Get in here." So she put me in the chair, and within like a minute, she had me wheeled into the ER.
Yeah.
So that was super lucky as well, because they had a lineup of people that were just trying to get registered, not even to go see triage yet. They were just trying to get registered. So just lucky. Lucky the same doctor was on that had treated me earlier, that everybody was still available, that room was still available. Like, it was just lucky. Yeah, just lucky.
Yeah.
So.
Does it change your communication?
I think so. Well, it's only been 1 day.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that yet.
Hard to say, but I feel like
anything about your relationship?
Not really yet, no.
Well, it makes me look grateful, because I'm not good at, because you're going to be there in 9 weeks watching me deliver, and you're
role reversal.
Like, I'm really glad that he is more confident. Like, I just felt like crap because like there you would, for the birth of my 2 boys, he's always like looking over the curtain and like, oh, okay, yeah, you're doing good. You're
I love
doing
watching
good.
the surgery.
And I'm like, get here, like help me out. And
I love
like,
surgeries.
Oh, no, like you're good. Like, oh, this is nice. I get to see it from the inside out now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Craig, you are not helping. I've been yelling for my husband when I was in delivery. And I'm like, why do I need him now? I'm like, he can go back now.
They wouldn't let me in, by the way. It wasn't like I wasn't coming in. They wouldn't let me in.
Yeah. But I'm like really grateful that like he can help do that. Like not like you're there for the spinal or when I'm getting prepped for the OR. Usually when I start cutting, that's when you come in. But
I'm there for the good stuff.
And I'm not good at that stuff. Like I have to look away and I'm like, I feel like the worst wife ever. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what if I would have done if I lost him? Like I would just, there's so many things that are like running through your mind, and it makes me feel like I'm really grateful for how much we do balance each other out, I guess. And I feel like in certain times in our marriages, like we've only been together for 5 years.
5.5.
Oh yeah, we married 5 years this year. But it kind of makes me realize that to kind of appreciate each other again and, you know, kind of relook things and be grateful for our differences and that we're always there for each other no matter what. But I think a lot of it is that my strengths are your weaknesses and your weaknesses are my strengths. But that was definitely not my strength. But I'm pretty proud of myself. I stayed calm though.
You'll do great. As long as you don't think you're there and you don't see anything, you're fantastic.
Yeah.
I just knowing you're there was good.
Like
You stuck through every one of your uncomfortable situations to be there. And that says wonders.
It's like every time I'm in the hospital, like you're there with me, you're like supporting me and everything else. And I just felt so bad because like I couldn't do that for you. And I felt horrible because like I didn't know what to do. But then when you see the things that I see, it's just, it was horrible. It was really, really bad. And I was scared. And I'm like, I couldn't do anything. I can't worry because it's not going to change the outcome.
I wasn't letting you near a needle.
Oh my gosh, I seen him. Like, oh my gosh, if he screams, I'm gonna go down. But I'm the one that whines and complains about them. But you're pretty good.
I used to get blood all the time, so needles don't bother me one bit. So
I can do it, but
I'm watching them do it. Like put in the IV, jabbing in my thighs. I'm watching them do it, and I'm like, ah.
And then when I took off your shirt, he had rashes and like big like globs. What do you call them? Globs or hives all down his body. And I don't know, I just remember the girl with the razor, she's like shaving you, and it was like
I was more uncomfortable with him was shaving my chest because I'm like, do the whole thing. Don't just do patches. I look like a reverse Dalmatian.
Craig.
I do. It's so uncomfortable when I look down. I'm like, oh man, really? And I got to do the whole thing.
But yeah, no, I think it'll help our marriage out a lot because, you know, for those who have been married for like a while or any type of relationship for a while, like I don't feel like we've been together for a while, but maybe it does feel like, yeah, I don't know, it depends on the day. And it's gotta be hard, like doing what I do as well. It's gotta be a little bit challenging, but
I love telling people what she does. Love it. They're like, oh, what does she do? She talks to dead people. Really? It's like, yeah. Like, in a morgue? I'm like, no. She just talks. People will ask her questions about people that have passed on. They talk.
I could talk to people in the morgue.
Yeah, you could.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Why? Because they're dead? Cool?
No, like, no, that's not what I meant.
Nothing like a good cold one, eh? Sorry, anybody that. But this is what I mean. Like, it doesn't bother me one bit. Like, I'm proud of what she does. She helps a lot of people. So, most people would probably be uncomfortable telling people, "Oh, my spouse speaks to the other side." But I think it's cool.
Yeah.
So.
But then to wake up, find out that I won the award, it was like such a really cool thing. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, I thought it was actually really interesting too. Was my reading today had kind of the same situation what happened last night with my husband, but the only thing
not with me though.
No, like the reading, like someone had allergic reaction and they ended up like passing, and I felt so bad giving the mom this news. But I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just had these visions of like, because you know how you get images, you blend their spirit, you get to blend their personality, but they also show you like visions of my own experiences as well. And it's like, oh, okay, so this is what I'm seeing. And I also like, yeah, that's true. I'm like, this is so weird because I just experienced this last night. And usually spirit does come to me like the night or a week before the readings and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
I wish they wouldn't take it so personally. Maybe I wouldn't have had that.
Too. But I think near-death experiences actually changes a lot of people too. Like, not saying that it's a different perspective of life, and knowing that we have to appreciate everybody and be kind to everybody.
And to me, it didn't feel like a near-death experience because I wasn't aware of anything that was going on. But she's seen it from the view she does, and that kind of, when she told me she saw my soul start to leave my body, I'm like, I just remember falling asleep. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember shaking, and I was shaking for a while, and then I just remember waking up, and she was still there. I don't remember. There was nothing. I don't remember anything.
I just saw your head kind of like stop to pop out, and I'm like, get in there, get back in there. And then I started bawling, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I can't tell them like what I'm seeing because they're gonna be like, whoa, you need to go to psych ward over there. So I'm like, okay.
It probably would have helped. It probably would have, like, I'm seeing his soul leave his body. They probably may have been like a little bit more.
I don't know. It depends. You never usually tell them that in the hospital because you don't know where you're gonna go. But sorry, no, I don't know. Sorry. You know what I mean? I didn't mean it that way.
Press the up button or the down button. Where are you going to go? Where would I go, honey? Where was I heading? Was my head actually coming up or was it going back down?
No, I just seen like your face kind of like come out of the body. Like, it wasn't like the other girl that I saw coming in from the ambulance. Like, she was fully outside of her body. But with you, it was kind of going in and out, and then you went back in, and then you fell asleep. So
great. I play peekaboo when I'm half dead.
Basically, it's what you can describe it as. But it was really, I don't want to say cool experience, but it was a really interesting experience for me. Like, I don't know.
Do that again. Like,
No.
Second verse, same as the first.
But when you have that time to kind of rethink things through, and I don't know, that's where we build up the strength, is when you have that trauma, when you have those experiences. So I'm not saying I'm happy it happened or I'm glad it happened, but I feel like it happened for a reason. And I feel like it's going to bring us like a lot closer.
You did great.
We do have like a typical relationship. We have our ups and downs, and but I don't think we never lost the love. So that's a good thing with us. But
at least I know no matter how uncomfortable she's going to be in a situation like that, she's always going to be there. That's like, I was telling her she didn't need to be there. I was telling her.
I tried not to be.
She tried not to be there, but no matter what, she stuck to her guns, and she stayed there.
No, the doctor told me to sit down.
No, you didn't have to, though.
Yeah, he did. He's like, you need to sit down or lay on the bed. I'm like,
No, but he didn't physically restrain you, is what I'm saying. You could have got up and left.
No. He just kind of guided me there because he was so worried I was going to deliver. And I'm like, no, I don't dilate. It's all good. Baby's not coming out till March 10th.
it ain't going nowhere.
And that's what I said. It ain't going nowhere. So don't worry about me. And then I'll just like look away. Like, I need to be here for him, because I feel like if I would have left, I could have broke down even more. Or I could have, I think I would have felt more guilty in a way. But I'm glad I stayed. I'm glad I toughened it out, and thanking the spirits that were there keeping me calm was a big thing. So the most important thing is that you're alive.
Yeah. I feel fantastic. You'd never know that this happened. Not at all. So.
And I just thought it'd be more special to share the story together and the different perspectives and what you were going through and what I was going through. And it's just, it gives you a different perspective of like having your spouse or a family member or something happen to someone you really love. It's just as scary.
I feel bad for her because for the past few weeks, she's been taking care of me. And it's not something I'm used to. I'm always been the caregiver. People get sick. I always look after them. So, and it wasn't a man cold type thing. It was just, I was fighting something. But she's been taking really, really good care of me, keeping the house clean, disinfected and that. So that's, it's been hard during the holiday season too with it, because I didn't want to get everybody sick. but
Mhm.
like I wanted to be close to everybody. Like it was my boys and my wife, and she's pregnant, and I want to be close, but I can't. So I thought it was just a regular little respiratory infection, and it turns out it was a whole lot worse than that. So luckily none of them really got sick. But through it all, the past few weeks, you've been fantastic looking after me. So,
My mom and I are like sterilizing everything, taking turns so we can sleep. But it was really hard because I was so busy and I thought this would be my quieter month, and I was slammed, which is a good thing. But
I had Christmas shutdown off. I've had this week off, and I'm like, really, like, I finally get time off to get a whole bunch of stuff done I need to get done. And I'm incapacitated. Oh, look, let's just try and die today. Not getting anything done that day. Oh, it's Tuesday. It's Lindsay's card pull. Okay. Maybe I can come through type thing. Like,
that would be the worst thing ever. And I told you that because I was really.
She's like, don't die. I don't want you to haunt me the rest of my life.
I don't want to talk to you on the other side.
Yeah.
But the thing that really scared me the most is that when you were starting to be stable, like you were sleeping, and both the doctors had to take what do you call it? To your heart or listen to it, the stethoscope.
Stethoscope. Say it again. I want to hear that.
No,
do it.
Stethoscope. I don't know why I can't say it. I don't know why I can't say it.
It's hard to say. It is, honestly. It's hard to say.
Because on the right side, he had the ammonia in it, right? And then they're having more scratches, and he had like poor stuff going on the left side. I'm like, oh no, like he should be more stable. But they said for you just to sleep it off. And
it's amazing what like an hour of sleep will do to you after that.
Mm-hmm. For sure. But yeah. That was our experience. That's where we were yesterday. And
how was your Tuesday?
Yeah. But I really wanted to stress that the baby and I are fine. And I didn't know how to really, I didn't have my phone. My mom had to do it. But to know that the baby and I are perfectly fine. I wasn't going delivery. As I said, this baby ain't coming out. So
I was the family emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it had nothing to do with that. They're perfectly fine and
we're
healthy.
So. We're good. And I just wanted to stress that because I didn't want anyone panicking about us.
I wanted to be the center of attention for once.
Yeah. So, but no, it was scary. And I just wanted to share our story like together. So we can, I don't know, if someone needed to hear that, or I don't know. I just felt like this was the thing that we needed to do.
Hey, it could be helpful to somebody who's having an allergic reaction and doesn't know it. Mm-hmm. You feel like your skin's crawling. You feel like you're the shortness of breath. And honestly, it went from just shortness of breath to I can't breathe.
Yeah.
I cannot. Listening to my voice now, this is nothing compared to my normal voice. Mm-hmm. There, it was seriously like a.
He can talk.
That's how I sounded. It went from a commanding voice to that. So, just to be aware of those symptoms, my lips ballooned up to probably 3 times the size. They were dark purple. My eyes were the same, like dark red. I look like a zombie infection is basically what I went to. And that happened within 25 minutes. So going from just having some itchy skin to that in 25 minutes. Mm-hmm. So that may be good for somebody to be aware of. So.
And then the doctor was like, is he winking at you? Because you go like this. And I'm like, he's like, that's a good sign. I'm like, I don't know if he's making fun of me, I said, or is he actually trying to wink? Because that's how I always wink. Because it takes me forever to wink. I'm always like.
I was doing my best to wink at her to let her know. Because we just, during a loving situation or a serious situation, we always know how to make each other laugh. We do not have serious situations like that or romantic situations.
We never have romantic situations.
No. It'll be so loving, and then all of a sudden I'll burp, or she will, or we'll sneeze, or stuff like that. But I just tried winking at her, and turns out I was making fun of her, I guess, because
I thought he was. I'm like, that little bugger.
I'm trying to just give her a wink with the one eye, but obviously my bodily functions weren't that well. And I was going,
would you stop making fun of me? Yeah, so I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, what is wrong with you two?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't want to know the story to that. But yeah.
How much time you got, Doc?
But I had to reassure the doctor, like, it's nothing that you done wrong, because he kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I had to tell him, like, you are a great doctor because you actually care about your patients. But this could happen to anybody. And the most important part is that he's alive. So,
yeah.
And then in 9 weeks, the roles will be reversed. Well, I'm hoping I'm not going to be a death experience, but we'll be
so I may try
a new life.
I may try and actually get a contact with him when he's back there, and just to say, even just leaving him an email or a note or something, just let him know that he was fantastic and then nothing he did wrong, because you could tell in his eyes he was deeply affected. He was afraid to look at me in the eyes. He was like, he felt like he was the reason that caused it, and it was nothing like that at all. He's a fantastic doctor. So it's just luck of the draw. You never know. You never know. And antibiotics, you just don't think about it. But they are very strong and powerful drugs. But it just turns out I'm allergic to most antibiotics, I'm going to guess.
Your mom noticed it. I can kind of see. I just see Wendy Myers and bunny ears.
Oh, yeah.
I love when your mom said.
It's Binks.
Bunny ears?
Yeah.
Oh, Binks. That's why I had to get that white bunny.
Sorry, hold on. There's one. There's one bunny ear. There we go.
All my bunnies here have one ear, and Binks only had one ear, or like a chip on top of the ear. It's like ridiculous. Like, it's so frustrating. I'm like, why are my bunnies broke? But that's because of it. I think it's Binks, but
I think it looks good on me.
I think it looks good too.
Yeah, I look good in bunny ears. I should have been a Playboy bunny.
There you go.
Then I would have to shave my chest.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I have to go to the bathroom. So, sorry, I've been holding it for so long, and I'm scared I'm going to sneeze.
A constant phrase in this house. I gotta pee.
Yeah, so we're almost there. But I just wanted to share our story, and that's basically what I wanted to share. And we're family, so I wanted to make sure you guys knew. And we'll have our gender reveal tomorrow, so we're really excited about that. And I just want to say also thank you for everyone for the award here. It's been absolutely amazing, a huge opportunity, and I'm so excited about where life's going to go next. Like, I'm so excited.
Thank you, everybody, for supporting her. To see where she's come from, to the people she's helped. It's outstanding to see how many people support her. And she really does deserve this award. I know I'm her husband and I'm supposed to say these things, but I don't have to. She honestly does deserve it. And, I'm very thankful to everybody that has supported her and believes in her. So, we do.
Yeah. So I thought I was all cried out, and then I got the reward. I'm like, oh my God, there's something good that did happen from this. Well, two things that were good, because you were here too, but like, it just makes all the hard work.
I'm no trophy.
No. I didn't mean it that way. It was the two things. Like, I felt really blessed this morning. But so, was that everything? Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Okay.
Check your allergies, people. Update your allergies on your medical forms and your contact information. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Okay, before we go, I gotta tell this. I think it's funny. You think it's funny too, because
I do, but you're lucky you did, or else you wouldn't.
When I went to the hospital the first time, I handed them my health card, and I can't remember the last time I've been to the hospital. I can't. But they're like, "Oh, well, you live at such and such address," and I'm like, "It's been a long time since I've lived there." I'm like, no, I live at this address now. Oh, okay. And your contact information, your emergency contact is Katie, right? And I'm like, no, I'm married now. My wife's name is Lindsay Myers. No. And the nurse just busted a gut laughing. She goes, I understand your situation. It's like, yeah, no, do not contact her whatsoever.
Or else I would have stopped at every red light. I would have taken a long distance around. I would have made you suffer. No, I actually wouldn't. But
why are we in Port Dover?
Sorry, I got lost. You know my sense of direction. I don't have one.
See that water edge right there? That's the emergency department. You just go take
Ew.
20 steps. There you go. See that pier? Yeah.
I wouldn't actually do that, but it was a funny story.
It was a funny story. I was just, I know my eyes just went wide. I'm like, no, do not contact her. No, that's my ex. That's not my wife. I laughed. I thought that was so funny. Yeah. Hey, I told you about that though. I thought that was funny.
I thought that was funny.
But the nurse just died laughing. She's just like, okay, I understand your situation.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say thank you everyone for being here for me. It's been rocking. It's been rough. Definitely not the great start to a new year. But it's been really hard, and that's why I just need a little bit of a break as well. But I want to keep you guys updated in all our life events because I feel like I view you guys as family. So
this was an abnormal situation. This isn't going to be a weekly thing.
Let's hope not.
So, but you guys don't. Thank you for supporting Lindsay. It's she's fantastic and definitely deserves this. So you've earned it.
Thanks. Sorry,
Are you blushing?
No,
Are you gonna wink?
No, yeah. I was gonna burp there, so I had to make sure I held it back.
Oh yeah, you have to pee, don't you?
I do. I really do.
Okay.
But
take the mic off before you go pee.
No, I am. I'll just show you the baby bump because last guess is because tomorrow will be the gender reveal. Look how huge I am.
She's beautiful, not huge. She's beautiful.
Yeah, this dress used to be like down to my ankles, and now it keeps like rising up. So I don't know, boy or girl. We're gonna find out tomorrow. So I'll give you like all the angles.
$20 a guess.
Like, I don't know. And you know what? I don't even care about the weight this time.
You look beautiful.
I'm like, you know what? This is what happens when we're pregnant. So, yeah. So I'm so excited to share the awesome news with you guys tomorrow to find out what we're having.
Be a baby.
Yeah. Well, it depends who you ask. If you ask our 2-year-old son, it's going to be a puppy.
Puppy.
Or a cow. I don't know if he was calling me the cow or we're having a calf. I'm not really sure. But
I'm not answering that.
I know, right? No, it's just the way he says that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm thinking about cows. Because then our oldest always goes, oh, no, he loves cows, Mom. He loves cows. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I have to go to the bathroom. So I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who are joining us and letting us share our story and for all your love and all your support.
Yes.
So I wish you guys have a great night. Mwah. Bye. Just give like the peace.